This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of October 9, 2017. Last week's intense energies aren't quite done with us yet. In fact, they are paving the way to a 13-month exploration of the deep. Oh, goody, you say. Well, it will end up being good, but what happens first is a continuation and perhaps deepening of the clarifying, streamlining process that we were in very heavily last week. We continue to have bodies in the sky making harsh aspects to Pluto, the lord of death and rebirth, the lord of regeneration, the ruler of all the dark and scary places within ourselves, all the non-rational beasties and motivations and fears and phobias, but also the treasures of the deep. The beginning of the week will likely bring more of them to consciousness, to the surface. They come with a demand that we be brutally honest with ourselves, about ourselves, and maybe with some other people as well. It isn't necessarily going to be scary or upsetting, but for some people there is going to be contact with parts of the self, parts of life that you'd rather keep behind closed doors and not talk about in public. Maybe power issues, maybe issues of deep, deep desires, or big backroom things that have been hidden, maybe involving lots of money. So watch for that in the mundane and national news. But on the mere mortal level, we have the opportunity to get much clearer about who we really are and get our minds more efficiently focused on what matters most to us. And this is part of the continuation of last week's process, dropping priorities, dropping things from the list of priorities that simply don't matter anymore. There are moments in life when things get extremely serious and you see in an instant what you care about and you let go of your grasp on anything that doesn't fall in that sphere. It doesn't have to be a dramatic, frightening event that does this. It could be at this point in our lives that the cumulative impact of so much overwhelming, pummeling news and anxiety will push us to how we have to survive emotionally and just narrowing our focus to what we absolutely cherish and have to have. That leads the way to Jupiter leaving the sign of Libra, relationship central, where he has been since September 2016, and entering deep, dark, penetrating, mysterious Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, for the next 13 months. So think back to what was going on in your life around 12 years ago and know that some themes are going to be coming back around again from then. And we have the opportunity now to go really deeply into the scorpionic areas of our lives and our charts. And if you think of it as a progression in what's happening in relationships, we are going from changing the ground rules, improving our agreements, making connections or expanding connections with people who get who we really are and with whom we can truly be ourselves. We're going from that and now into deeper and deeper levels of connection, greater and potentially more raw and, let's be honest, frightening levels of intimacy. And as Jupiter begins that 13-month voyage, we start to come into awareness of our limits, our needs for structure, for containment. Mars makes a square to Saturn. Mars, who now has his marching orders from Venus, Mars had a conjunction with Venus last week under the Aries full moon on Thursday. The cosmic lovers met, our hearts told our will what we want. Now our will is going to go get it. And one of the first things that happens is he hits a wall. Maybe belief systems, maybe there are regulations, but there's definitely something about reality and bringing structure and bringing containment. Are you really going to commit to what your heart has said it wants? It may be that simple. It may be part and parcel with going deep, exploring new levels of intimacy, and that comes with needing to absolutely commit to whatever it is you are venturing into. And interestingly, as we move out of that, Venus, the ruler of our social interactions, the goddess of love, beauty, creativity, money, everything we value, Venus moves into her home base of Libra, where she is ever so fond of hearts and flowers and beautiful words and sweet music and going to dinner and talking about things, the social graces and niceties, the way things are phrased. Venus in Libra is very much about greeting cards and bouquets of flowers and music that conveys a message. So there is a little bit of a softening, or at least a veneer of beauty and ease as everything else goes really, really deep. If you know anything about the city of Vienna, it's actually a living symbol for this, particularly around the turn of between the 19th and 20th centuries. A veneer of elegance and very deep, dark, powerful things happening beneath that gorgeous veneer. And that's where we are. The homing thought of the week: remember that it is better to do surgery with a scalpel than with a butter knife. Song of the week, I have two. The old Anglican hymn, All Things Bright and Beautiful, and also a more recent oldie, Bring a Little Lovin', your choice of by the Spanish band Los Bravos or by the Australian band the Easy Beats. And the image of the week is the scene early in Woody Allen's film Annie Hall, in which Alvy and Annie are standing on a balcony having a glass of wine, and there are subtitles for what they're really thinking while they're talking. Only this time, the subtitles are visible to the other person in the conversation. As always, if you would like to know more about what all of this means for you, please book a session with me at empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list. Talk to you next week.